Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this the news beat presented to you by Ladies Like and Jess Santino. Follow the beat from the studio to the street. Info with the flow keeps you sharp and in the know. Sit back, relax, enjoy the news. Follow.
Hey Sly, what's on today's plate?
Lots of curious things. Kenya's camera ban, we joining the debate. Pornography control in Uganda. Journalism school in Somalia. And this judges are in control. Please stay tuned and follow. Hey, in a couple of years, our children in East Africa won't know that there was once a thing like a Kavera.
Hey, how so?
After Rwanda and Uganda, Kenya introduced a delayed plastic ban, hoping to protect their environment by joining the plastic-free flow. They want to push the 24 million bags they use monthly to zero.
Kenya is worried about cows in the city, and they should be. In Mauritania, before their plastic ban, 70% of the dead cattle in the capital died from eating plastic bags, and that is only one sad fact.
The bags also block sewers, creating puddles of water on the street. Where malaria mosquitoes breed, better keep the streets neat.
But here is a word of caution to the so-called miracle solution. Plastic bans are seen as progressive, but can in fact be quite aggressive. In Rwanda, banning plastic, including bags, came with a price tag. The absence of alternatives has driven many women with kids to start illegal smuggling businesses.
Also, the Rwandese system seems beneficial for huge multinationals like Coca-Cola, a corporate giant who doesn't have to be so compliant.
However, in Uganda, where plastic bags are banned as well, the measure worked out pretty well. Two sisters saw a business opportunity and reacted immediately by weaving reusable bags out of fiber, attracting many consumers.
Let's see what the ban in Kenya will bring. Environmental improvement or struggle for human beings. 80,000 jobs in the plastic bag sector might be lost.
It seems that well-intended policies often come at a cost.
And well, since a plastic bag takes 20 to 1,000 years to degrade, we will have to wait for a Kavera to disappear.
Pornography has a long history. It can be dated back to the Romans and prehistoric civilizations. Now with technology and information, it is easy to access. It is controversial among the masses and the world governments. The Minister of Ethics and Integrity, Simon Lokodo, frowns up the distribution and the presentation of porn and believes it causes social destruction and mental corruption, and attributes the increase of rape, use of drugs and other illicit acts of the matter. So Uganda's government has set up a committee of 9 members to detect and cut the circulation of graphic materials. Any form of media used to broadcast it will be shut down. If any individual is caught in possession of pornography, they could be sent to jail for 10 years. However, many Ugandans don't believe this is possible and find it ambitious. Some even view this to be dangerous towards women who fear dressing in a certain way may cause mob mentally and find themselves in an unpleasant situation where one might get hurt, which may also lead to the abuse of women to increase. And others are questioning the 2 billion Ugandan shillings going into the funding of this mission. This has obviously brought up a discussion. Hopefully it will end up to be the best of the general population. After all, this is a democratic country.
Journalism in Somalia is not about to quit. It's making a comeback after 26 years. Despite the risks of reporting and the fears, like the 26 reporters killed in the last 5 years by Al-Shabaab militants and other armed groups, it's enough to make anyone want to fly the coop. Somalia's National University is starting to revive the study. According to Prime Minister Ali Kaire, students of the journalism faculty have a unique opportunity to write Somalia's new history. Fair and balanced reporting can be an issue, especially in the conflicted city of Mogadishu. Reporters are tasked to seek out the facts between ambushes, bombing and suicide attacks. They also wrestle government restrictions that control media organizations. The risks make the job pretty hard, but journalists also have rewards. A local journalist can make a decent living or even better when foreign agencies are paying. Most practicing journalists have a high school education, but the National University is offering a higher education to raise the quality of journalism and communication. Can you hear the bell? School is in session.
You know, I'm worried about my Jaja. She gets weaker as she gets older and older.
Maybe you can take her for boxing. For judges in South Africa, it's a big thing.
For real? How are those judges boxing?
In South Africa, they are called gogos, and their skills might seem so-so. But at Cosmo small cities, a team gym, it's not about training to win or even exercising to be thin. These goggles are trying to stay healthy, to fight diseases by boxing on the daily. With their dedicated trainer, Claudia Mafosa, these goggles can change the states in South Africa, where most women are overweight or obese, and so they suffer from pressure and diabetes. The program helps them fight stress, and the results might make you envious. Constance thought her blood pressure was set, but when she started boxing, she threw out her tablets. She knocked out the sickness with a right hook back up. Back up, she's stronger than she looks.
Thanks, MC Yala. I'm impressed by those fierce goggles. If I tell my Jaja, she might get serious for more.
That was the news on the beat. Next week will be another hit. Still Ladies Like and Jay Sentino reporting live and direct with love and respect. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Yes, follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Yes, follow the beat.